So basically, for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you the three reasons we're here. All right. Obviously, starting with the first one, we're training. That's pretty obvious. Right now. We got two people on the call. We've got Monica and we've got Michelle. And right now they're in the learning process. We want to make sure they get independent as soon as possible. So basically, what we do is we solve three of the greatest problems facing Americans today, and I'm going to get into that. Okay. So Michelle, let me ask you a question. If you got sick right now and it was bad, would you try to figure it out or would you go seek help like a doctor?
Well, if I couldn't do it, I'd definitely go see a doctor.
Yeah, that's the right answer. Of course, you want to seek help. And if you got in trouble with the law, would you try to represent yourself or would you maybe hire an attorney to help you out?
I would do as much as I could myself because I don't trust attorneys. But if I had to, then I would go with legal counsel. Yes.
Right. Okay. And I'm glad you said that because a lot of the times we try to help ourselves, and that's fine. A lot of us are DIYs, right? We like to do it ourselves, and that's totally fine. But eventually, if it's not working, eventually you want to seek professional advice. So the reason I ask is because I really want Tony to understand that I think it's silly that when it comes to our health, we understand it's important to seek help. When it comes to the law, same thing. We got to seek help. But how come, Michelle, when it comes to our personal finances, we spend our whole life trying to figure it out and we never seek financial advice? Why do you think people think like that?
Well, if they know how much it costs, that's probably a good reason.
Right. That's true. But to be
Yeah, I think
fair,
the biggest thing is a lot of people, they try to do it on their own and figure
uh,
that the best way to do it is to figure it out themselves. Just like when we're learning things,
right,
we're taught things and you have to practice things and you have to do them more than once to learn it.
right. But do you think people, you know, based on the world we live in, do you think people ever really figure out their finances eventually? I mean, it might take a lot longer, right?
No, they don't.
Exactly. So all I'm saying is that we should be humble enough to seek advice and seek help, even if they knew it cost a lot of money. Like I know it's going to cost an arm and a leg to repair my transmission, but am I going to still try to do it? Probably not. I'm going to pay what I have to repair my transmission. Well, same thing here. If it's going to cost you $680 one time, so that way you can live a life of luxury, financial independence, not have to worry about your finances, I'm pretty sure people would do it. But again, it's just they don't really think that way. So, second reason, Michelle, is honestly, we would love to earn your business. Okay. And I say earn because we would love to fight for it too. If you don't have a financial advisor, do you have a financial advisor right now? No?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Okay, well, look, the goal is for me to show you what we do. So if this excites you and motivates you, then maybe in the near future, when Tony gets her license to be able to do these things, maybe you could reach out to her and say, "Hey, Tony, I'll be your first client." That'd be awesome. Okay.
Oh yeah,
And
she'll know if
Tony's
I'm into. Yes.
Tony's fired up right there.
Yeah.
And last thing is we're expanding. We're always looking for help. I was talking to Tony. I said, "Hey, give me some info on Michelle," and she's like, "Oh man, let me talk to you about Michelle. She's got the biggest heart. She loves her grandbabies. She'll do anything for her grandbabies. She's a giver. She's a follower of Christ." And I was like, "Dang, this seems like a person that I would want involved in my organization." So
Okay.
as you sit here and listen, I mean, shoot, if we can put an extra $600 in your pocket on a weekly basis that doesn't cut into your family time or your job time, would that interest you?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, awesome. So just have an open mind as I go through what we talk about. Okay.
Okay. And if you see me
Yeah.
traveling, it's because I'm watching my patients. So just know.
No, I totally get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for telling me that. That's respectful. Okay. Okay. So look, Michelle, let me show you what we do for people. So we provide financial game plans. So the way I like to explain this is, Michelle, if you took off from where you're at currently and you drove to Florida without a GPS, would you get there?
No, I would not get
No.
there.
Yeah. Some people maybe get off wrong exits and eventually get there. But would you agree that if you had a GPS, that you not only are you guaranteed to get there, but you'd get there a lot quicker?
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. So why do I ask you that? Because that's what we are for people. We're people's financial GPS. Our job is to work with what they got to get them to where they want to get to as soon as possible with their finances. So with that being said, how many people do you know right now, Michelle, that because they never seek financial advice, they're still working, in their 70s? You know anybody like that right now?
I do actually know, especially because of COVID. A lot of
Hmm.
people are working and they can't physically afford to.
Hmm.
So it's like they're causing more of an issue because now they're having, on top of problems with financial, now it's more physical problems.
Hmm.
With my line of work doing caregiving,
Oh man.
Very, very, very adamant right now.
Yeah. Very demanding too.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Michelle, if money wasn't an issue, if you could retire, and I'm sure you still want to work because I don't think anybody wants to be at home, but you would work because you wanted to, not because you had to, right?
Yes, I would. I
Okay.
enjoy work. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So the reason I mention that is because that's part of what we do for people. So let me give you an example. So part of what we do is we show people what's called the theory of decreasing responsibility. Are you familiar with that? Have you ever heard of that?
No, I have not.
No? Okay, so what the theory says is it kind of shows us how life works. So typically we like to meet people in their 30s. Okay, that's kind of our target market, right? Like obviously your target market is people who are a little older. They're the ones that need the help. Every business has a market. Our market is people who are younger. Okay, in this example, you've got these 30-year-olds. They're barely married, starting their life. They've got kids, they've got debts, and they have a house mortgage. Would you agree that's kind of typical, right, for a family starting up?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so what we do is we show them that we need to start preparing them for buying that dream home, right? Saving for retirement, being able to vacation like they want to, because everyone can do it. The problem is our habits don't serve us most of the time. Would you agree that we have bad financial habits?
Yes, there are a few. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So it's unfortunate that we live in the most richest, most educated country in the world, and how come people still retire broke? That's what I don't understand, right? So the problem is our bad financial habits, and we never seek advice. So what we do is we sit with this couple and we ask them what they can commit to on a monthly basis. So in this example, the average couple can actually commit to about 35 bucks a week, right? Each person, husband, wife, $35, right? So, if they can do 35, that's about $300 a month. Okay. And let's be honest, Michelle, if you really think about it, it's really not a lot of money. If you really sat down and looked at all the money you spend on things that we really don't need, it's more than $300 a month. Would you agree?
Yes, I do agree with that. Absolutely.
Exactly. So once we find out what someone can commit to, we then go into creating their plan. Okay. First thing we want to put in place is protection, because we know that bad things happen to good people all the time. I'm sure you've seen it before. People asking to do donations or car washes or, GoFundMe's, that kind of stuff, or even through church, just trying to raise money to bury somebody. And it's especially in this example, when you got a young couple working, God forbid, if something were to happen to the husband or wife, would you agree that that would put them in a really bad financial place?
Oh yeah, definitely. With my line of work, it's putting people in financial bind because there's a lot of people that need care that can't afford it.
Right, right. I couldn't agree more with you, Michelle. So the first thing we have to do is create what's called a foundation, right? We put together what's called income protection. So with the $300, we figured that with 100 of that, we can put it in instant protection. So if God forbid husband or wife were to pass away, well, they have some coverage in place. Now, we can never bring them back to life. We can't replace their loved one. But I mean, if we show up with a check of 300,000, do you think that's going to alleviate the financial burden?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Exactly, exactly. So we teach them how to rent wealth until they establish wealth. The second part of our program is invest money, put money in mutual funds, put it in the market, let it grow, right? Put it somewhere where they have potential to grow their income. So what ends up happening is, let's kind of play this scenario out here, right? So let's say this young couple doesn't touch their investment for 30 years. Okay. Now, to be clear, it's their money. They can touch it whenever they want, right? But in this example, they don't use it. They don't need it. 30 years later, Michelle, they're grown. They're in their 60s. 30 years later, their kids are gone, out of the picture. 30 years later, their debts are paid off or paid down. And 30 years later, their 30-year mortgage is also paid off. So now at this point in someone's life, would you agree that their responsibilities went from really high in their early years to not so much in the later years?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So at this point in someone's life, you don't necessarily need as much life insurance as you did at the beginning, because now you've been investing well. You should have a lot of money, that the money will cover the need of any type of insurance. So for example, the $200 a month that we put into their mutual funds, well, eventually it grew, if you can see right there on the right, to 452,000, Michelle. Think about that. Now they don't even need life insurance. They have more cash than they had coverage. Can you see that?
Yes, I do. And I think the good point too is about life insurance is
Mhm.
there's so many places that they guarantee you, but when it
Mhm.
comes to, okay, well, the time's expired, but you don't
Yes,
find out about that till later. And then it really puts you in a
exactly.
bad position. I've
I
seen a
agree.
lot of that, a lot of that.
No, of course, because in your line of business, and I couldn't agree more with you. That's totally true. So we want to make sure that we put people in a good place, because with every insurance that I know of, you pay and pay and pay. And when you cancel your auto insurance, what do they give you back, Michelle?
Nothing.
Home
Nothing.
insurance, nothing, everything. Well, with us, the way we set up our program, you got two things. You got your life insurance and you got your investment. Well, with us, 30 years later, when this family says, well, we don't want our life insurance anymore, well, you walk away with $452,000. Did you lose money or make money?
Obviously made money.
Yeah. And let's kind of put the numbers in place, because I'm a number cruncher, right? So look,
Okay.
you put away $300 every month. That's 3,600. You did that for 30 years in this example, right? That's
Yes.
180,000 that came out of your pocket for the life of the program. So let's play this out. God forbid you would have passed away. What would you have left behind?
Mhm.
300,000 if you had the life insurance. You see that right here?
Yeah.
So if you would have passed, you would have left 300,000 plus whatever's in the investment. Because remember, you have two different things.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Hmm.
you only put in 108, and this whole time you had 300,000. I think that's phenomenal. You didn't
Oh
even pay
yeah.
half of what you had in coverage, huh?
No, not even. No.
Exactly. That's a big deal. Now, what if you live? What if you live a long, healthy life, right? God willing, you live a long life. Well, you don't
Yeah.
want to cash out with zero. You don't want to be left in the situation like you just mentioned. You have no coverage. Well,
Right.
here you walk away with 452,000 and you
Okay.
only put in 108. You see that?
Oh
Pretty
yeah.
solid investment, huh?
That absolutely is. Yes.
So, moral of the story, if you die too soon, your family cashes out a life insurance check. We take care of your family. If you live too long, we take care of you. You cash out with an investment. So regardless, you get a check. Someone's always going to get a check, and I'm okay with that. So, I mean, what was
Yeah.
your biggest takeaway from this slide, Michelle?
Well, I think for me, the biggest thing was, I appreciate, right off the bat, you understand, accepting, where I'm at with things, but also being open to hear about the situation, not just in my life, but in the people I work with.
Mm,
That the need is so great right now. So I have a better understanding of even sharing with them, because
mm.
I deal with, patients that have dementia and their family members, and they don't know the financial plans to do things. So this is perfect for me in this time where I'm at right now.
Awesome. Okay, and I'm glad you feel that way. So just last slide here. Okay, so we believe in what's called a pay yourself first formula. Okay, this is what the wealthy people know, right? Have you ever heard the saying, the rich keep on getting richer and the poor keep on getting poorer?
Yes, I have.
All right, this is why. I'm about to let you in on a secret, okay? Because I used to think the rich people would have meetings, like secret meetings that poor people weren't invited to. I'm like, how do I get one of those meetings, And then I joined this business and I'm like, this is that meeting. Now I know the meetings. So let me show you what I learned, okay? So what I learned is that everybody wants to save money. We don't have to twist anyone's arm. Everybody wants to. The problem is most people are not disciplined enough to do it on their own. That's the reality of it. That's why, like, when it comes to even weightlifting, like, I'm so proud of Tony. She told me her personal story on how she lost so much weight. I'm freaking proud of her. She's a champion. It's no wonder she's going to be big in this business, because if she can do that, this business is going to be a walk in the park for her,
Oh
right?
yeah, she's a boss. She's a boss.
Yeah. So
Yep.
most people, when it comes to weightlifting, they can't do it on their own. They have to hire a personal trainer, right? They have to have someone who tells them what to do. Well, in financial services, it's almost the same thing. And it's fine. Just seek help. All I'm saying is just seek help. So in this example, most people can save some money. And let's say this couple would have saved $300 a month in a shoebox, which is what most people actually do, right? If you're Mexican, you put it under your mattress. We're a little special. But if you do it in a shoebox, it gives 0%, right? Obviously, it's a shoebox, right, Michelle? So 30 years later, if they would have done it on their own, well, we already know it would have been 108,000. We saw that right earlier. It would have been 108,000. Now, hey, 108 grand is better than nothing. So we're not going to sit here and complain about that. But Michelle, let's be honest, girl. Can you retire off 108,000 in California?
No,
There's no way.
you're
California,
lucky
maybe.
it would do a month or two for that price.
Yeah, I mean,
Everything.
maybe if you live off cup of noodles, you might make it, right? But then that's for sure you'll get cancer, because that's not good, right?
Yep.
So option number two, if you're not going to put your money in the shoebox or in the mattress, where do most people save their money?
Banks.
That's right. Boom, you got the bank. Now let's be generous here. You and I both know the banks are not giving 2%. That's not
Nope.
happening right now, right? But let's be generous. So let's just say they were giving 2%. Well, if the banks were giving 2%, you would make $147,000. It's a little better, right? It's better than 108. But here's the problem. I don't know if Tony told you, but you and I are actually related. Did she mention that to you, that we have an uncle in common?
An uncle in common? Is that Uncle
Yeah,
Sam?
that's right, Uncle Sam. So Uncle Sam, he only comes and visit us when he wants to collect his cut. So look, if you made
Mhm.
147,000, the reality is you have to pay taxes on the profits, right? All right. Now, Michelle, let me ask you this. Do you think the banks love you enough to give you all the money they make off your money?
No.
No, because the banks are loaning your money, they're investing it. It's not just sitting there. So whether you like it or not, your money right now, at this very second, is being worked. It's being invested. Who keeps all the profits?
The bank?
Exactly. Now, if you're totally fine with that, well, keep doing what you're doing. But based on the way you're talking to me and interacting, I don't think you'll be okay with that. Because who
No, I'm
works for
not
the
okay
money?
with that.
You or the bank?
Yeah, I work for the money. Nothing just work.
Exactly. Exactly.
Bank wouldn't be
So
what it is if it wasn't people that were working.
that's right. So let me show you what the bank is doing at this very moment. They took that 108,000 you gave them. They went ahead and said, "Hey, 30 years from now, Michelle, congratulations, girl. Here's 147 grand." You're looking at it like, "Oh, I mean, at least I made some money." But look what they did. They invested it in mutual funds. They averaged 12%. They earned $455,000 on whose money, Michelle?
Mine?
Yep. Yeah, your money. Your money. So what we do is we teach people how to invest where the banks go. Because if it's good for them, it's good for us, right?
Yes.
So we put your money in mutual funds. So you really have a choice to make. You can keep doing what you're doing and keep getting what you're getting, or you can make a decision to say, you know what? How about I put my money to work for me? How about I hire my dollars? How about I put my money to work for me? And if you do that, look what you have to look forward to, right? And this is an
Yes.
example with 300 a month. But not just that, you also have protection. Because what good is saving money? What good is it investing $300? You pass away tomorrow. What are we going to tell your loved ones? Oh, here's your $300 back. What's that going
Mhm.
to do for them? You know what I
No.
mean? So
No.
what we do is we take the 300 and we split it again. We put $100 in protection and we put 200 in your mutual fund, and you still come out on top. You still
Okay.
come out on top, because now if you, God forbid, you were to pass away a few days from now, we look at your beneficiaries and say, "Hey, here's the $200 your mom invested in her mutual fund, and here's a check for 250 grand." Wouldn't that be a lot nicer?
Oh yes, a lot better.
So in a nutshell, again, Michelle, I love what I do. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little passionate about this. I love what I do. We help people, we make great income in the process, and everybody wins here. The agent wins, and so does the person that we serve. So I want to open it up for any questions. Do you have any questions for me?
Okay, so let's say that this is something that I choose to do.
hmm
Um, for a patient,
hmm
how does that work?
Oh, that's a great question. It depends on the age and if they have any pre-existing medical conditions. Are you talking about like the program itself?
Yeah, the majority of my patients are 70 or over.
Okay. So when someone's 70 or over, they don't qualify for the right kind of life. They qualify for things like colonial life. I don't know if you heard of them.
Yes, I
Like, oh,
have.
yeah, no physical required, only $13 a month. They don't
Right.
pay out. They don't pay out. Right.
Hmm.
So, in all honesty, I think it would be too late for the insurance part of it. But I think for
Okay.
the investment part of it, I think you can get them at a good time, because most of the people that you're serving are already retired. They probably have some
Right.
old 401k sitting around not earning any interest. And girl, you learn this thing, you help them with their investments. All right, my 20 minutes is up. But you asked, okay, so I'm answering your question.
Okay.
So we help them with their investments, and I mean, it'll put you in a good place. And on top of that, think about this, Michelle. They've got kids. Who's
Yes.
serving? Who's serving their kids?
Hmm.
I don't think
Nobody.
anyone is.
No.
And they know you as Michelle is taking care of their mom and dad. They'll probably give you an appointment. They'll be able to hop on a Zoom, and you can say, "Look, let me show you how to put yourself in a place where you don't have to end up in a nursing home,
Hmm.
where instead of ending up in a nursing home, you have enough money where you can hire someone to take care of you in your home." Wouldn't that be a lot
Right.
nicer?
And that's what the demand is more now because of, especially because of COVID, they don't want
Right.
to put their loved ones in a nursing home because they had people that said goodbye behind glass, didn't even get an in-person thing.
Yeah.
And I had several of my patients, family members saying if they could afford to keep their family members at home and have someone to come in to take care of them, they would
hmm
rather do that.
You see?
Hmm.
You see? And
Absolutely.
and and unfortunately, God didn't design us to get better with age, huh? That's not how we're built. The older we get, the more tired we get. So, Michelle, honestly, I see a future, and I see a future for you in this business. just because of the kind of person you are. Do you feel like I had to sell you on this? Do you think I needed to sell you on saving money and investing?
No, I didn't feel any pressure at all.
You don't have to. This stuff sells itself, right?
Mhm.
In fact, it's a service. People need it. I love the fact that I don't have to sit in front of somebody and say, this is why you should invest and give you all the reasons why no, 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 no. You need to, you know why you should invest. I just give you I just give you a source that you can actually take action on it. Because what I
Yes,
found is the biggest reason people don't invest is number one, they don't know how. And two, they don't have any trust in any institution. That's what
yes,
I found, right? And I'm Mexican. We're very, very skeptical about everything. Okay, so I
yes.
can say that. So I mean, seriously, Michelle. I mean, when it comes to learning the business, on a scale of 1 to 10, and you can be brutally honest with me. I promise you won't hurt my feelings. Okay,
Okay.
1 being Emmanuel, I'm not interested. Thank you for the information. Or 10 being like Emmanuel, just shut up, man. I'm in. What do I got to do? Where would you say you're at in the scale of 1 to 10?
7.
Okay, 7. So you obviously
Yes.
have some more questions. I'm already done with what I had to explain to you. So I stay true to my word with the 20 minutes. But
Mhm.
obviously, if you have questions, I'm willing to stay on the call a little longer to answer your questions. Okay.
Okay. Well, right now I can't stay on the call any longer because I have to get
No
my
worries.
patient lunch.
It's all good. I
But
figured.
but I know that you have my interest, so I want to know more.
Okay, great. I'm glad to hear that. So
Mhm.
get with Tony. Get with Tony. We'll figure something out where we can set up another call. That way we're not strapped for time. Okay.
Okay, sounds great.
Awesome. All right, Michelle. God bless you. Thank you for hopping
God
on.
bless you
And
too.
awesome. Want to say anything else, Tony?
I just want to say thank you, Michelle, for giving me the opportunity to learn more and for listening to Emmanuel. He's the best. Monica's one of my friends from work that I'm getting close to. And I'm just really excited to learn more and to hop on this train. And I hope that you are too.
Well, if God says I'm on board, I'm all in. So,
Pray on it, girl. I love you.
all right, love you too. You guys have a blessed day.
You too. Take care. Bye
All
bye.
right, you too. Bye.